Hello warriors, welcome to another video of the series for self-defense instructors. We already talked about a look into reality. Today's subject is going to be understanding weapons in self-defense. We in the last video already talked about you as an instructor want to give your absolute best to your students, and that's by the model situations. In model situations, if anything, the biggest point they are probably going to take is that surviving this situation against a knife, for example, with my bare hands, is not very easy, but when I got the weapon, it was 10 times easier. And this is the biggest point they should be taking away from the model situation. The best example for all, imagine 12-year-old girl defending against an adult man, grown as big man. And now she's going to defend with her hands. How impact of the strikes are there actually going to be? How much force can she generate when she's actually defending against someone bigger and stronger? Even worse if I'm some league boxer and she's supposed to defend with hands. Not much. But if you think about how can she improve her impact, she takes, for example, a hammer, and now all of a sudden she hits me to the hand and it's probably going to break a bone, which before with hands won't do anything. Great. She has to hit the face, and even then it's not going to hurt. But if you take something like this, we have a wrench or a hammer, and she hits, even with this one, it's felt a lot, and it's a toy. It's not even meant for a real strike. So that's the big difference. There was a big strength difference. You give her the hammer, it's equal. Or take, for example, someone like you. Let's say you are the trained boxer for this thing we want to show right now. You are a boxer, you've been training this for many years. Now you know that most of the time you are not just going to knock out someone with one punch, because even in boxing matches it doesn't happen that often that with one punch you knock them out. It takes some rounds. Okay, exception would be we are just talking and you all of a sudden just hit me. Then okay, then you are going to knock me out. But in some different instance, well, I'm at least a little bit ready, maybe I'm covering myself, and now it goes, and you want to box with me, and let's say you hit me and you somehow destroy me because you boxed me out and you hit me 20 times, but I hit you 20 times as well, or 15, or maybe even 10 with this one. And now you won, but you see that my every single strike made you bleed. Your every strike took a long time to have the immediate impact. So the difference between you trying to box me and taking many hits versus you have something like a weapon and you take a telescopic button. You have the button, you hit, create a distance, and now every single hit you will do across my arms will break a bone. Across my head probably means I will be knocked out completely. That's the big difference. So if there's any takeaway from this, hit him with your hands, he will catch you many times. You have a weapon, you have much bigger reach, and you can finally with every single hit maybe stop him. If we are talking about weapons, of course there's a big difference in what weapon you have with you. So if we are talking about real weapons and not weapons like alarm, personal alarm, or paralyzer, or just some whistle, which we already made video about why they don't work, so check them out. If you don't have those kind of weapons but you have real weapons, we are talking about telescopic button, pepper spray, or a gun. It doesn't matter who's holding it, it's going to work. So if we are talking about holding a gun and I shoot, it's the same as small girl has a weapon and she shoots. It still will have the same effect, and the pepper spray and the telescopic button. So that's the good thing. If it's a real weapon, it is going to work no matter who's holding it. No one is saying, neither are we, that gun will solve every single problem in real life. Because it's not true. Not every single situation is you have to kill the person because you have a gun. So if we are talking about situation he pushed you and you want to go and just shoot him, or he just maybe grabbed your hand, maybe, hey sir, and now you just shoot him. And he's just going to ask, what is the time? Of course not. It doesn't make sense. So it doesn't solve everything. The same goes if you want to send your girl to a party. She wants to go party. Okay, you can go, but take the shotgun. Now you can go. I have calm on my soul. Which is not true. The gun will not solve everything. And then there's two extremes of the spectrum. The first extreme is that I will not carry my weapon because I have always weapons on me, which are my hands. This is cemetery and this is hospital, and I will always have them with me. Well, let's go problem by problem. The first one, we already talked about how big of a bullshit it is. You are going to hit him 20 times, but he will stab you 20 times. Okay, but let's say you have 20 years of experience and you hit very good, but you are trying to teach it to the 12-year-old girl. She doesn't have the power, she doesn't have the conditioning, she doesn't have the skill. So if you think about one day of her punching, how good is she going to punch? Well, not like you after 20 years of training, not even close. So you cannot teach the skill that you have after 20 years of boxing as a man and teach it to a girl who's there for the first time ever, and she never wants to train it again maybe. Surprisingly, this isn't even a solution for policemen. Even they don't have that much time for training. And you can see that their solutions are not the athletic person solving the situation, it's their way of solving the situation. And based on their training, it's not that good, because they just don't have the time for it. So not even small girl, but many times it's not even solution for real policemen. And like we were saying before, the second extreme is the gun will solve everything in my life. Well, that's the problem. If the situation is different and he's already punching and you now want to go for your weapon and he hits you so many times, it's not going to solve it. The worst would be if it's a knife. If it's a knife, we are talking about you go for your weapon and I already stepped how many times before you even got to there, and I'm not even stopping in real life, because why would I? So no, you first need to be able to solve the situation maybe with your hands to create the space, or even for the small girl, fall, kick, and then go for a pepper spray and use it. So it's not going to be used in the phase number 1, but maybe in phase 2 or 3. You need to have the weapon, of course, but you need to be able to not always just rely on the weapon. You need to know the phases. Not to say weapon is your primary solution for the self-defense problems, but you need to know what distance does it make sense to draw, in what instance it makes more sense to run, or how to create the space from the beginning, when it's time to fight and when it's time to fall and kick and then go for a weapon. Those are all the differences that you need to do and know in the training. And then of course in all the situations it's going to depend what weapon makes more sense. Is the situation like rape, different weapon than a bar fight, for example, let's say. The main takeaway from this video: if you have the problem, solve it with weapon. It's 10 times easier to solve it with weapon than with your bare hands. So train it so the people can know it in the situation. If you like the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe for more videos like this, and definitely comment what you think about the videos. Maybe we missed something. Okay, write it there. But the more important part is going to be that there's going to be classes opening for instructors. So if you are interested in subjects like this and you want to train this and then train your students, definitely join the program and we will see you there. See you soon.